This is Open Ears, a podcast by Crash Ensemble. My name is Alain McFadden, musician and producer of Open Ears. On this first episode of Season 4, I chatted with musician and songwriter Sam Amidon. Together, we listened to Drones, Variations, Ornaments from Ghosts by Nico Muhly. Hey Sam, how are you getting on?
Good, how's it going?
It's good, man. Yeah, I'm in Germany here on the road doing my first episode here
Amazing.
of the new season. Yeah, man, really delighted you could jump on and do this. Do you know much about Crash Ensemble, or have you worked with them?
I am very lucky to have worked with them a number of times
Amazing.
over the years.
Great.
We have done, if I don't know every time we've done stuff, but the couple memorable times were, I believe it was Sounds from a Safe Harbor Festival at
Amazing.
least 10 years ago, if not a bit more. We performed The Only Tune, which is Nico Muhly's composition that he wrote for me, which is based on a long murder ballad of the two sisters. I also remember a time with them. We've done also a concert in Clonmel at a festival there that featured a bunch of arrangements, and then we've just overlapped in different capacities with different members over the years in wonderful different
amazing
groups.
So you know Nico Muhly then as well, if you've done this.
Absolutely. Nico is one of my close friends since my early 20s, and of course.
No way.
Oh yeah, and he did the Nico and I have worked very closely, especially when I first met him. Was when I was starting to do my singing and doing albums of reworked folk songs. And I had made the first one with my friend Thomas Bartlett, which is how I met Nico. Thomas and Nico, still to this day, they work out of the same recording studio, and they're very close. And then Nico brought me to Iceland and changed my life because he introduced me to Valgir, and we made 2 albums in Iceland together, All As Well and I See the Sign, which were very, very close collaborations, and have done things ever since. And I'm a fan of his work. I love Nico's work. So this is a super cool piece to be checking out.
That's absolutely amazing. Okay,
yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
Right. Well, sure. Let's have a listen to this. So this is Drones, Variations, and Ornaments.
Great.
Hey, we're back.
We're back. What a piece, my God. Incredible. I'm so glad that you've brought this because I don't know how I missed this record, but I'd never heard this piece before, and it's
Uh,
blowing my mind.
there's so many like moments in that, and like I just love the pacing of it and how it like unfolds.
Yeah,
Um,
it's very welcoming
yes,
piece. I mean,
yeah,
that's like this is now that I've now heard this for the first time, I feel like if anybody asked me about Nico's music, I would send him here first. Like in a way,
yeah,
it's a very sort of because it's like this. It's 15 minutes long. It's one piece, but it has a very clear structure. You know, it has like the
yeah,
slow, then it goes to the faster, more scattered thing. Then it goes to the real pulsy thing with the kind of skronky guitar happening. Then it moves back to this really moving final section, which recalls the opening, but in some weird ways. And there's like, I mean, I would love to listen to this 10 more times now because it feels like there's so much happening, like
mm,
motivically between the different sections, but it's all of the sections are so beautiful. Like it's a very warm, even though it
yeah.
shows you all the different corners of what Nico is up to in his world, I feel. And it's not like simple at all. It's very, very complex, and yet all within, there's so much to kind of connect with at each moment.
You were guided into it, and even then, when it kind of got like minimalist, and there was that amazing rhythm the guitar was
Yeah,
doing and stuff. It was
the
like
pulse section.
the
Yeah,
pulsing was incredible. You were just like you were in it. Yeah, and like I just loved the instrumentation as well that he did. Like when the bass clarinet came in as well, I was like,
it's
oh,
so rich. It's
it's
so
so
rich.
rich. Yeah,
And I can often be wary of electric guitar in contemporary classical
yeah,
composition in the sense that it often just sounds like the guitar is not being played with nearly the same power as any rock or jazz setting. It can feel a little thin, whereas and that sometimes has to do with the writing for the guitar is just not being written with the same understanding of the instrument that a composer would be bringing to the violin or the cello or
yeah,
the oboe. But Nico and the guitar player here totally nail it, and it really just feels it actually like that section in the middle. The pulse, it's like there's the pulsing
mm.
happening, and then there's these skronky guitar lines. I was very downtown New York. It reminded me of Mark Ribot. There's all these miniature points of moments that are kind of could be worlds unto themselves. And I
yeah,
think in another composer's hand, this piece would feel just really scattered and just like, well, why isn't this person committing to an idea? They're just throwing all this stuff at the wall. But because Nico really understands structure and
mm.
like he's working in such a place of comfort as a composer that it doesn't feel like that way at all. As we were saying, like that it actually has a really clear structure to hang all these elements on, and yet none of them are simply that. Like
Yeah,
during the slow section, there's always some little like that, like a little really fast, weird, scratchy thing
yeah,
that happens for half a second, or during this fast section, there will be one slower line or a little reference. So like you know, he's he's so at ease and comfortable what he's doing that the ideas it always there's so much going on but you're not
yeah,
being like attacked. It
totally.
still has this beautiful flow and it's like watching a film. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's like generally when I listen to contemporary music or music in general, I have a very visual
Mm.
imagination of what's going on, and I was right just going along with that as well. Like I loved those scratchy things. They were because it was a really short attack as well. It was just like it was just like
Yes,
and it was amazing. Like with the flutes and the
incredible.
horn. Yeah, it was
Yeah, he's
it
really
was really
using
cool.
the ensemble, and Crash has that sense of rhythm and the broader textures of their the trombone, the electric, it's just like it's a really they're such a dynamic group, and he's really having fun with that dynamism that they have going on, and
Yeah,
it's so beautifully recorded too. It feels like did Valgier record
yeah.
mix this record?
I
It
think
seems
so.
like it because
I
there's
think he did. Yeah,
couple of compositions of him on
yeah,
here. He must have. It's just and Valgier and Nico have worked so closely as well, and it's just recorded so beautifully. It's just like so great.
yeah. Like yeah, the mix is amazing. The whole thing about it. You should have a listen to the other tracks
I
when you have
can't
a chance.
wait.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know one of the Valkyr pieces already.
Okay, cool.
Um, but yeah, and there's things I hear in this piece that really connect to other pieces of Nico's. There's an early piece he wrote that I've heard a million times because we did it often on. He performed it on tours we did together. That's a really beautiful piece called "Keep in Touch," and that was written for the viola player Nadia Sirota. And Anoni sings. There's some vocals in the electronic. It's for tape and viola and piano and other instruments potentially. And there's this kind of like lonesome melody that I hear that often comes really all the way through Nico's pieces. It's like da da da. It's something around that kind of like this, and like minor six. And there's just like this lonesome phrase that I hear that comes, and I feel like I heard a version of it here or there a couple times. And there's like with and in general with many of Nico's pieces, there's this kind of like shimmery surface and pointiness, and as we were talking about those kind of little scratchy moments and a kind of shimmering restlessness, but and playfulness, but then underneath it there's this kind of lonesome quality, and this piece really embraced that actually more fully, I think, than other pieces that I've heard, especially at the beginning and the end, that really slow sections. And there were like but at the same time, I also heard some stuff here that I hadn't really heard in Nico's pieces before. There was a sense of there was a little bit more like I almost heard some Duke Ellington kind of harmonies here,
cool.
especially in some of those slower sections. Maybe it's because of the instrumentation that you pointed out.
Yeah.
Is there like a bassoon? Did you say bassoon?
Or I think it's this bass clarinet.
Bass clarinet, exactly.
Yeah,
the bass clarinet and the trombone and the cello, like some of those like lower close harmony, shifting close harmonies. It kind of had like I heard little Duke Ellington in there.
Absolutely.
And I don't know how, again, that's like a side of an influence I wouldn't have noticed elsewhere when I've heard Nico's stuff. I don't know how explicit that was, but yeah, and there was. And just, in general, there's also just like he's always had this incredible sense of improvisation. And I think that's also something that you don't always feel when you're listening to composed music, right? Because the whole point of composition is you can plan it all out in advance. And so people really plan. And I think somehow Nico has retained this very, because I really love, like, which I don't know if this is what he's coming from at all, but I'm just speaking as a listener. And like I really love free improvisation and things like Derek Bailey and that kind of or Albert Ayler, like real like that sort of noise music, but also just that premise of just somebody walking into a room with somebody else and just playing freely together, and and there's and I think there's something about Nico that he's managed to somehow preserve that in the composition process. I don't know if it's something about this. Maybe he works quickly, or that I know there's a lot more underneath it, but I think he's somehow able to preserve that sense of improvisation in the playing and in the writing, which is so beautiful. And it was something that, like, I know that when we made All Is Well and I See the Sign, we had a process where I put down, the solo versions of my song arrangements, my folk song arrangements, or in the case of I See the Sign, me and Shahzad Ismaili had recorded a bunch of things together. But then Nico wouldn't let me hear what he was going to do. Like, really? He wouldn't play me any demos, like MIDI stuff from his arrangements. He would just go in and record them, which is, on the one hand, like a hardcore thing to do, but in a way it kind of preserves the quality of, like, if you're playing with a musician on stage, they don't play you the notes in advance they're planning to play at the concert, right? They're just that you learn the songs and then they are going to play what they're going to play in the moment. And so in a way, by doing that, he was kind of preserving a sense of, improvisation through that process. And so I kind of feel like that's at play here as well. There's like a sense of play and a sense of openness. And again, maybe that's kind of what gives it a cinematic quality, because it's like watching a film where another character can walk into the room. You never know.
Totally, it's like what you were saying as well. How it kind of reminds you of like New York or Scene, and I was just thinking, just like with the horns and the like. It's like Duke Ellington. I totally got that feeling as well. It was like in the harmony as well. You were saying, it's transporting.
Yes, an urban scene.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, what a treat.
A beautiful treat.
Yeah, buddy. Well, thank you so much for jumping on and having a listen and a chat.
Absolutely wonderful, Alan. Thank you.
It's been really nice, and we can both go out and into this lovely warm day now with that.
Yes, with that shimmering music in our heads,
shimmering music,
bouncing around.
Well, buddy, thank you so much. I really, really
thank
appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you for inviting me.
And sure, look, hopefully we'll see you soon.
Absolutely. Catch you out on the road.
All right, Sam. Thanks a million. Nico Muhly's Drones, Variations, Ornaments is available now on Crash Records. The title music was taken from A Chell by Ed Bennett. Visit crashensemble.com for more information. Thanks for listening.